a name we can say. That is different. But the philosophy, the path, why it is different? Because different scholars, they, in different way, they explain. Shankaracharya introduced the Advaita Vedanta. This Advaita Vedanta, here he said, whatever you see is nothing but your imagination. And when he was challenged how it is possible, when you were pinching, we are getting the pain. That is also imagination. So this is the way he is explaining the pure Advaita. And Advaita means no duality, non-duality. And the way he explained through utilizing the word Maya, which is there in the Veda, the Maya means a type of power which can really make you completely forgetful about the original thing and force you to imagine something else. And that is the way he was explaining that sometimes you see the mirages in the desert. When you see the mirage in the desert, what do you see? You see the water, you see the trees, you see the camel, you see the people, you see. But when you go near it, you see nothing. That is your experience. Then who was seeing it? You. Why? Because you imagine. So that is the way this whole world is. And when you go back to the source, the reality, you can understand that everything is completely different. So this Shankaracharya, of course, just a few lines of Vedanta I'm telling, and all arguments were there and the bases were there, and the people started getting convinced about this. So the Buddhism, which was getting the support of the kings, and obviously spread it very fast, almost all over, that was stopped by the Shankaracharya, a one-man army, we can say. And he traveled all the length and breadth of the whole India, and he was fighting with this Buddhist. And then finally, when he was accepted, there were many people who accepted him. He chose only 4, the best disciples. And these 4 best disciples are Hastamalaka Acharya, then Totaka Acharya, Padmapada Acharya, and Shureshwara Acharya. These are the 4 disciples. They are great, the Acharyas after the Shankara. And they have beautiful stories in their life. Little we can remember about them. There's the Hastamalaka. When he was born, after the birth, he never talked with anyone. And he behaved like an idiot. And obviously people used to misunderstand and used to think, oh, this boy is having some mental problem and he is not normal. So his parents were very sorry for that. And one day Shankaracharya was passing through that village, and when they heard that the great Swami is going through, in the olden days, it was the system that every village they used to have one place dedicated for the visiting monks. So when the holy people will be visiting, they will be staying over there, and the villagers will bring the food, drinking water, and all other things, and they will listen from him all the talks about God. That was the system. So when they heard the Shankaracharya is there, there's the parents of the Hastamalaka, they brought him over there. And they were requesting the Shankara to bless the boy so that he can talk. Shankara looked at him and immediately realized that he is a realized soul already. And in the Bhagavad Gita, when the Arjuna is asking the question, what happens to those souls who, after trying to realize God, couldn't realize, what will happen to them? Are they like the going nowhere? Then the Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he mentioned, no. In the 2 slokas, he mentioned that they will born again, Shuchi Nam Sri Matam Gehe Yoga Brashta Vijayate. Yoga Brashta. the one who is not successful to reach to the goal, that is the unification with the ultimate reality, again he will take birth, but at that time, he will be in a very cultured and rich family, so that he can start his journey from there. If you take birth in a very, very poor family, it is very difficult, because you have to think about the food all the time. You cannot think about the philosophy or forget about God or meditation. And if you are in a very rich family without culture, there's the same thing also. So that's why Shuchi and Sri. Shuchi means the culture, and Sri having sufficient money to take care or look after. So there they will. And second, he said, Athoba yogina meva kule bhavati dhimatam. And he will born as a yogi itself. And he is united already, realized already. But he will behave like an ordinary person. This boy, the moment Shankaracharya saw him, he asked, there's a story goes like that, Ka tvam shisho? Shisho means the child. Hey boy, who are you? Immediately the boy, who was at that time 12, 14 years old, that the first time he replied, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Aham Brahmasmi. So immediately Shankara told, he doesn't belong to any samsara. Give the boy to me. Let him come with me. The parents were very happy. And they could not keep that boy. The boy followed the Shankaracharya and became a great sannyasi afterwards. And Shankara gave the responsibility to him to look after one part of India. We will come to that. This is the story of the Hastamalaka. And then Totuka Acharya. The Totuka Acharya also, he was not that way educated in Sanskrit and all that, but he used to serve the Swami, serve the Shankaracharya. The other friends, other students, and they used to have fun with him. You are an idiot, you can't understand Sanskrit. So how you are here? Because we are all scholars. Among the scholars, when they talk, if you can't, in that level at least, you won't be able to talk with them, commute with them. So obviously, you will be the fish out of water, so because they are discussing in a completely different way. Suppose the two physicists talking between them, then what you will do? You don't know anything, understand about physics. So naturally, that was the condition of the Totakacharya. The Totakacharya was serving the Swami. And he used to feel that I'm really very humble. I am not fit for this. Among these people, I am not fit. The one day when he was washing the clothes of the Shankaracharya, Shankara glanced at him. He was giving the classes, all other students were sitting before him, only except that boy, Totakacharya, that he was washing the clothes in the river. Shankara glanced at him. Immediately, he started composing the verses in the Totaka Chanda. There's a special type of another chanda that means the rhythm, we can say, that he was composing those stotras. And he became very, very well known. Because the acharyas, the persons like Shankara, Sri Ramakrishna, just by glance also, they can give this type of power. The Totakacharya also became one of the 4 great disciples. Then Padmapada Acharya. There's the Padmapada, one of the great disciples. Then what happened? One day, the Padmapada and others, they were on the other bank of the river. And as if Shankara wanted to check with them, they examine them, who is so dedicated to me. So when all of them, they were on the other bank of the river, Shankara was on the other side, and there is no boat. So how to cross the river? Shankara shouted, "Save me, please come." All they came on the bank and they were wondering what will happen. Only except one, he jumped in the river and he was running on the river. He was not swimming, he was running on the water. I never thought about what is going to happen to him in that chill water in the river. He simply plunged into it, jumped into it, but instead, inside the water, he was running on the water, and people noticed that every time he's touching that water, or we can say the ground, a flower is coming up and supporting his feet. The Padma means the lotus. The big lotuses are blooming on the water and supporting him to run. So that was the dedication of the disciple to the Guru, without caring for his life. Just when he heard the call, he ran towards him. So Shankara blessed him. From then onwards, he became famous as the Padma Pada. Padma means the lotus, Pada means the feet. So he was also one of among the four, he was there. And Suresha Acharya. Suresha Acharya was completely, he was also another philosopher. He was also having his strong philosophy, and he was Mandana Mishra. The Mandana Mishra, he used to support that the people should have the ritualistic way of life. Shankara is the completely Vedantic philosophy, and Mandana Mishra are completely different. He was older than Shankara, much older than Shankara, the Mandana Mishra. He was ritualistic, so obviously all the homas and the pujas and the sacrifices. And Shankara told it is not necessary. That is all only to prepare the mind. The ultimate thing is the knowledge. So Shankara wanted to meet him, but he won't meet Shankara, so he closed all the doors. Shankara, that's as the story goes, Shankara wanted to meet him, so he was climbing, scaling the wall. From the outside, he was scaling the wall, coming down. And Mandana Mishra, at that time, he was having a yajna, it was going on. He asked Shankara, what is it? Why you are coming like that? He was asking, where from this shaven head is coming? I have forgotten the Sanskrit word. Where from the shaven head? Because Shankara was all completely shaven head. Then Shankara answered, galat, up to the neck. I have shaven up to the neck. So he came down and he challenged him. I like to sit with you. I like to discuss with you. And I'm sure that I'm going to make you convince that these are the things that whatever you were saying is not correct. Through ritual, one cannot reach to that ultimate goal. So ultimately he agreed, so meeting was arranged. So who will be the judge? Mandana Mishra's wife. Now, friends, from these we can understand, this is the wonderful history that shows that even the ladies, they were highly educated. When that wife can judge the two great the philosophers, Mandana Mishra and Shankara, we can understand she knew so much. Otherwise, how she can judge? So this is the way, and it goes like this, the story always. Then she put the two garlands, the two debating the souls, and told, you have to debate continuously and you cannot remove the garland. I like to see the first garland, the withering, the flowers, then I will know that your body is becoming heated. And that means you are going to lose. And you are afraid to lose. So naturally, that is the story. But ultimately, that condition was, if Shankara is defeated, then he will become householder. He will marry and he will settle as a householder. And if Mandana Mishra is defeated, he will leave the hearth and home and will become a sannyasi. And we know Mandana Mishra was defeated and he kept his word, and with the permission of his wife, he came out, he became the sannyasin. And these are the four great disciples of Shankara. Friends, we are slowly going on remembering this history because we are coming to Ramakrishna Mission Sampradaya. It's an organization, but this is a philosophical organization, and where from we came. This Shankara, I'm just touching the life of Shankara because he is the main person who re-established the Hindu, and he organized the whole monastic life. He gave the 10 schools, the Giri, Puri, Bharati, Bana, Aranya, Sagara, Asrama, Saraswati, Tirtha, Parvata. These are the different names. Our actual ultimate, the last part of the name is Puri. If I have to say Swami Ishatmananda Puri, because we belong to the Puri Sampradaya. If you go to the traditional places in the ashramas, the akhadas, they will never listen to your first name, your Sampradaya name, that is the Puri Sampradaya. Now, the next, they will show you, Shankaracharya divided the whole India into 4 parts and made the 4 ashramas, and that is the Govardhana Pita. Pita or the Matha, we can say, the Govardhana. So that was in the east of India, and the first Acharya was Padmapada Acharya, and their Veda was Rig Veda. They should take care of the Rig Veda. So he gave the separate way, and their main Shakti Pita was Bimala or the Bhairavi. And second, in the southern part of India, it was Sringari Sharada Pita, the Sringari Sharada Pita, and in charge was Shureshwara Acharya. The great disciples of Shankara, the one, and then first Padmapada, second Shureshwara. And Aham Brahmashmi, that is their main way they learn, they take the sannyasa, Aham Brahmashmi, I am the Brahman. And Prajnanam Brahma, the consciousness is the Brahman. So this is the way and they are supposed to take care of the Yajurveda. And there, the Shakti is Sarada. Friends, you will be happy to know, we the Puri Sampradaya belong to this. Our Matha is this, the Sringari Matha. So I visited Sringari Matha once. I am supposed to. So I visited the Sringari Matha, and then our Veda is the Yajur Veda, and our Shakti is Sarada, and we, particularly in the Ramakrishna Mission, we worship Ma Sharada as that Sharada. In the West it is Dwarka. Dwarka in the Indian West, there's in Gujarat, and the Dwarka Pita, Hastamalaka was the Acharya, and Tattvamasi, that is their Bhakya, Mahabhakya, and Samaveda is their Veda, and Shakti is the Bhadrakali. So this is Bhadrakali is their Shakti. And finally in the north, Jatirmath. And this Jatirmath, Totokacharya, he was there. And this Atman is Brahman, Ayamatma Brahma, that is their Mahabhakya. Bhakya means a word, Mahabhakya, very special word. The sannyasins, they always remember that. So Mahabhakya is this, Ayamatma Brahma. So our Mahabhakya is Aham Brahmashmi. So like this it goes, and then this shows the map to help you, the Indian map, and then where they are. So this is the India, and this way, see the east, west, north, south, how Shankara divided in those days. And he used to travel on just walking on foot. He used to travel whole India, he traveled. And he went up to Assam. There, the story that says in the Assam, mainly they follow in Assam. Previously it was there. So as a type of the way they worship, the way sacrificing the human. That is the old time they used to think in that way. And one person came to Shankara Because he was jealous, seeing the popularity of the Shankara, he came to Shankara and told, "You are a great soul, and I think if I can sacrifice you at the feet of the deity, I will get a lot of power, spiritual power." Shankara immediately agreed. So this is the challenge, you see, when the people are coming and telling like that, they immediately agreed, because I am not the body. Okay, let me go with you. And if you think that by sacrificing me, you will get the blessings of your God, no problem. Shankara followed him. And Padmapada was sleeping. Suddenly he saw that Narasimha coming and asking him, "Go and save your guru." And he ran, and when he was about to cut the head of the Shankara, he went and then took the form of the Narasimha. Narasimha means half as a human, half as a lion. He became terrible figure, terrified that man, and saved the Shankara. And how come? He came and told you to come, and you came. The Shankara told, "I knew that you will come and save me, so I came." So this is the way the story goes, and very interesting life of Shankara. And then I am trying to showing over here how the names goes. The very famous Dhanarajagiri. This Dhanarajagiri is a giri. Next comes Swami Vivekananda Puri. Then Chandrasekhara Bharati, he is also another, and Madhusudhan Saraswati. So these are the ways it goes, the names. And now we will come to the Hindu sannyasins. And this sannyasin, there are three types of sannyasa is there. One is Biddat sannyasa, another Bibidisha sannyasa, and third is the Atura sannyasa. Atura sannyasa means when the person is ultimately dying, then he can take the sannyasa vow. And what is the sannyasa? Giving up. What one is giving up? Ego. I don't belong to this world. Nothing belongs to me. That much. Sannyasa means giving up. Sannyasa. Nyasa means giving. Asam means completely. The completely giving up. What he is giving completely? His ego. So this Biddat sannyasa is as the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna says, the fast is the fruit, then the flower. Usually always flower, then the fruit. Here, the fast is the fruit. That means they are already realized soul. And they come only to show us how to practice spirituality. Like Vivekananda, Brahmananda, they are all Biddat sannyasa. They're already free, but behaving as if they are trying to realize God. And Bibidisa sannyasa is like we are trying to realize God. We have given up the hearth and home, trying not to think that all this belongs to us, and at the same time, we are not already realized God. Like this is called Bibidisha sannyasa. They try to pursue and realize. Atura, those who are ultimately, they are sick, they are going to die, and that time they say, "Please give me the sannyasa," and they go. Now, then there are, these technologies, these are the terminologies I am trying to tell you, because these will help us afterwards what type of sannyasin that the Ramakrishna missions are. In Indian tradition, the first you see Kuti-chaka. These Kuti-chaka sannyasins, they will won't go anywhere. The Kuti-chaka means they are sitting in one place and practicing spirituality. Kuti-chaka. So these will be in our YouTube afterwards. If you would like to study more, you can, from the YouTube you can study. And this is the Kuti-chaka, the heart dwelling. That means they sit in one place, they don't travel anywhere, and they practice. Bohu Udaka. Bohu Udaka. Bohu means many. Udaka is water. That means the one who is wandering and drinking water from different places. So Bohu Udaka, that they gave. You will find the sannyasins, they are traveling in different parts of the places and they are staying over there for 3 nights, again going to some places, like that it goes. Third is the Hamsa. There's a Paribrajaka sannyasins. They are a realized soul, very high. They are the Hamsas. They live in the samsara. They are mixing with the householders, but they are not at all touched with all the other things of the samsara. Samsara means grabbing. Samsara means ego. Samsara means me and mine. That never touch them. And another is Paramahamsa Sannyasin. This Paramahamsa, they call Nishkriya Sannyasin. This Paramahamsa Sannyasins, we belong to this Paramahamsa Sannyasin. So we do not work at all. We do not do anything. But how come the Swami Vivekananda introduced so much work? This building we purchased, and then we renovated, then every Saturday we are inviting people to give a talk and inviting people to come and listen. It's going on. All this work is going on. Then again, we are not supposed to work. That means we work for the sake of the others, not for ourselves. Majority of the people, they work for themselves. I was just reminding to our devotees that one of our Swamiji was offered the Bharata Ratna as the greatest in India, the highest respect for a person, the Bharata Ratna, because he used to work among in a very, very difficult place for a sannyasin to go, in the jails and all those places he used to go, and he used to teach them for a long period of time. And moreover, he worked in a very remote places. But he refused. He told, no, I am not going to accept this. I never worked. The people, when they get all those type of sanmana, we can say, that means the respect from the state, from the country, because of their work. There are some people, every year they get it, but they have contributed in their field, so the state or the country or the society recognizing them. We don't work. We are not working. Then what do? We worship. So this is the difference. So we don't expect and never receive anything from the society because we are not working for that. We are worshipping. This is the difference. So this is the Paramahamsa. This is the highest order. Then comes the Akhada. This is another type. This Akhada we will show you over here. And in the Akhada, the one is Shastradhari and Shastradhari. Astradhari and Shastradhari. What is the Shastra? Shastra means the scripture. And the two types are there. The one is Astradhari, weapon bearer. They are the warriors. They are the protectors of the sannyasins. In that time after, say, 10th, 11th century, when the Muslim invasion very strong in India, obviously a different type of culture, different type of religion, when they were entering into India, they wanted to control India. Obviously there was the chaos, they were killing people, and they had no respect for the monks, and naturally it was going on. They were disturbing and killing the monks. So one of our the sannyasi, the Madhusudan Saraswati, who was known to that, the king at the time of Delhi. So he went to him and said, so your people are killing the Hindus. So please do something. It seems that he said, it is a religious group. I cannot say anything because I belong to that. And they will revolt. They will go against me. You better protect yourselves. Friends, you have to remember, it is not the modern time. It is 11th, 12th, 13th century. So obviously, that was the time people used to keep the swords and all other things to protect themselves. Here also, they used to keep the guns to protect themselves. Now it is not necessary because the civilized the society, the police is there, other administration is there to protect us. We need not to carry the alms, but in those days it was. So after that, the Madhusudana Saraswati, he developed a group of people. They were not sannyasis, but the protectors of the sannyasis. So the astradhari. So they were not sannyasis, they never took sannyasa. But they used to live outside the ashramas to protect that ashrama. And they knew how to fight. And sannyasis were shastradhari. They used to study scripture, and they never took up the arms, and they took the vow of non-violence, and that is the two types. Then come the akhadas, Nirvani akhada and Digambara akhada. This Nirvani and the Digambara, these akhadas, akhada means a place where people, they practice. That's called akhada. And sometimes the people, the wrestlers, that is also called akhada, because they come over there and they practice wrestling. They call akhada. This is also the akhada. Now I will give you the complete list of how many akhadas are there. As a tradition, this is very, very important. And if you go to India, and particularly at the time of the ritualistic dip that the people they take, so these are very important. The Juna Akhada, Niranjani Akhada, Pancha Atala Akhada, Pancha Dashanama Akhada, like that, it goes on. Please show this list. Then ultimately, I am showing you over here how the Astradhari, these Naga sannyasins, these are the Naga sannyasins, that is founded by the Madhusudana Saraswati. They don't wear the clothing, they are very fear looking. So the people will be afraid to go near them, and they will be practicing the wrestling and other things to make their body strong. Not that they take up the guns, no. Just, the free hand. So that is the way they... But people nowadays respect them a lot, and these Naga sannyasins. And another, the Astradhari weapon bearers, these Naga sadhus. They're next, you can see. Then comes this our sampradaya and the Ramakrishna mission sampradaya. This is the Shankaracharya. Then from Shankaracharya in the same school is coming Totapuri, Ishwar Totapuri, and a Naga Sannyasin and the guru of Sri Ramakrishna. But Naga Sannyasin doesn't mean he was Astradhari. Rather, he was a Shastradhari. He was the great, the knower of Brahman. So he came and he gave the Advaita Jnana to Sri Ramakrishna. And then finally, from Sri Ramakrishna to Vivekananda and Holy Mother, and a group of Ramakrishna mission started. Next you will find a sannyasin, when he is giving the ochre robe to anyone, it is considered that he is giving sannyasa. And those who have read the biography of Ramakrishna, you must be knowing that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he gave the ochre robe to his direct disciples. The direct disciples means all the pictures are here. You can come and see all these direct disciples are here. Few of them, not all. Some of them, they got it. And afterwards, they gave to the others. So 16 of them, so they were directly, and it happened in the Kashipur Uddan Bhatti. Uddan means with the garden. Bhatti means the house. So Uddan Bhatti means a house with the garden. Now previously, the rich people in Bengal, the Calcutta, they used to have this type of houses because they will be having the business and the other things. So they used to come and take rest. So when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was not feeling well, a group of devotees, householder devotees, they rented this house. And then they kept Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna over here. Still it is there, the same, no changes. If you now also you visit this pond, the same building, all the rooms. Very recently, I visited the India, and whenever we go to India, these are the places we always go to remember how much sacrifice they did for us. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is to live over here, and his disciples. Now from here, he started developing the groups, the Shangha. Shangha means the united groups. And a group where they will completely dedicate themselves for the cause. Another, the householders, they will be living in the household, but supporting the cause by coming and giving them the donation and writing about them. Exactly those things happened over here. Friends, from here we say that Swami Vivekananda started the Ramakrishna mission, but there is an opinion, and a very senior monk used to say, no, it is Sri Ramakrishna. The Sri Ramakrishna practically, he started that. And he knew the young, educated people, they used to come to visit him, and he will be giving them the complete different ideology, and that ideology of sacrifice. And sacrifice for the living gods and goddesses. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, if you can see God by closing your eyes in meditation, sitting in the corner of your room, can't you see God with open eyes? Those who are living all around? Because they are the gods. The completely different views. People, they always give the world and go back. Neti, neti. Not this, not this. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, iti, iti. This. This is a complete different way. After Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, now the Hinduism, it has changed 100%. The present day Hinduism that you see is the creation of Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Mahasarada. A different way of thought. That traditional Hinduism we cannot think of. Here, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is giving a complete idea. But is it his own? No, it is a traditional. In the Upanishad, the very first sloka of the Isha Upanishad, it says, Ishavashyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Isha, that means the God, the Supreme Lord, who is all-pervading consciousness without any epithets. He is covering. Except that consciousness, nothing is there. In that case, who are these people? Who are these beings all around? They are also gods. They are also goddesses. So this, when we think, that's why when Swami Vivekananda came over here, and he said, it is a sin to call a man sinner. On what basis he said? From the Vedantic point. And then he gave a wonderful dictum, and that is the dictum that we follow. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest the divinity within. Each soul, he is not telling Hindu, Muslim, anyone, potentially divine. But potentially means it is chances are there, but you have to manifest that. The potentially divine, and we have to manifest it. How? By controlling nature. What is that nature? External and internal. The external nature is always insisting us to react. And he said, don't do that. Control yourself. Someone said something against you, immediately you have taken up the arms to fight. Don't do that. Control yourself. So that is a very strong, and from inside also you are fuming. You want to do this, you want to do that. Control yourself. This is the fight goes on. In the Hindu mythology, always you will find that the Deva and Ashura, they are fighting. Who are the Deva and Asuras? My mind, my thoughts, my good thoughts and my bad thoughts. That these constantly going on, the fighting. The Deva, Ashura, and nothing external. This is all internal. And who are the Asuras? They are ignorant people. That's why Asuras are depicted in a very bad shape, the very bad-looking people. No, they are bad thoughts. And what are the bad thoughts? Selfish thoughts. Anything that is selfish. And Swami Vivekananda said, unselfishness is God. He gave a unique definition of God. Unselfishness is God. And how to reach that unselfishness? Through love. So love and unselfishness, this is the definition of God. We think of God and we imagine God is like this, God is like that. God is coming down from the heaven. So many things we imagine only. But actually the God is nothing but love and unselfishness. Now, when he said, it is already there within us, we need not to search. So when we go for searching something else outside and get that is limited. Anything that we do and then get, it is limited. Like we study, then we become a professor and a knowledgeable person, a doctor, an engineer. We acquire that knowledge. But after 90, after 95, if you go to a great doctor, can you please check me? What is that? He has forgotten. All those things have gone. Acquired thing always goes away. And those which are already there can never go. It cannot. So it is already there. What is that? Consciousness. And that consciousness, which is within us, and that manifests through love. Love is already within us. We love, but we love only our kith and kin, only our family, only our country, maybe. So like that, our love is limited. When that love goes out and embraces each and everyone, that is called spiritual love. We are sacrificing. We are unselfish, but limited. We earn money and then we give to our son, our daughter, our this person and that person close to us. That is also sacrifice. I have earned that money and then I am giving to. But when that sacrifice goes and embraces each and everyone without any discrimination, that is called divine. So Swami Vivekananda learned it from Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna and he started propagating that. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's disciples, that in the Uddan Bhatti, it is 1886 when he passed away. Look at the center, that is Swami Vivekananda. All are bare-bodied because they were not having the clothings. That is the condition. Narendranath was a very rich man's son. But when his father passed away, he was not having any money because his relatives cheated him, took away all the property. He was not having anything. In those days, he was a graduate. He was not getting any job. All this in his biography we know. So he was the leader. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna called him and he said, I give the responsibility of the young boys to you. That is Narendranath, who is standing in the center. And if you go to the Google, you will find all the names of those. This Narendranath was taking the care, and he was only at that time hardly 22, 23 years young man, you can imagine. And that was the responsibility. At the same time, his mother and brothers, they were in great difficulty. There was no food. They were so rich. Every day, so many people used to get food from their house. Now they are not getting food. And he had the responsibility also. He had to go and take care of his mother and brothers. So litigation was going on. So he used to go to the Calcutta High Court to fight. And afterwards, when he got some property he got back, he gave it to his mother, and then he came and he took all these young boys to a place in a very, very dilapidated house. You see, this is the house. And we can say the ground floor, it was half inside the earth. Mostly it was snake and the jackals used to stay. It was a terrible house. Even then, they had to pay 8 rupees as a rent. So that was the condition. They were not having any money. Now the Shanga means unity. These young boys, they used to stay over here, they used to practice meditation, and the householders used to come and help them. Who were the householders? Master Mahashaya. And then Girish Chandra Ghosh. Then many others, those who have read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, you all know them, the great soul. So they used to come and support them and that was the continuously going on. That is the majority. That is the strength of the Ramakrishna mission. All over the world, wherever you go, there will be only one monk, but there will be thousands of devotees supporting him. And together, they are going towards Satya Yuga, I always say. Satya Yuga. Because when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna came, he started the beginning of the Satya Yuga. What is the symbol of Satya Yuga? Truthfulness. And what is the symbol of Kali Yuga? Falsehood. So Kali Yuga means all physical, body conscious. And look around. Whatever the people are doing, only they're concentrating on the body and falsehood. And this is the deepest period of the Kali Yuga, the ultimate Yuga. Swami Vivekananda said, when Sri Ramakrishna came, the Satya Yuga began. And Satya Yuga, he gave the call, hold on to truth. And each and every one should realize God. He never said we have to go to heaven. All other philosophers, all other religious leaders, they say, we will take you to heaven. Heaven is the highest conception. No. Heaven is a temporary place. It is a mukti, to become God yourself. So, aham brahmasmi. So that he said, you will become God yourself. And then last day, when he passed away, a few days before that, 1886, 1st January, he blessed not the God, but he said, be illumined. That is the knowledge. It is the knowledge. What I can bless you, I bless that all of you get illumination. What is that illumination? Knowledge. Tomader chaitanya ho. In Bengali, he said, Tomader chaitanya ho. What is the chaitanya? I am not this body. I am the soul. I am eternal. So that way he is teaching. And taking those teaching, these young boys, then January 30, 1887, Baranagar Math, and this is the first Matha, we say, the Baranagar Math. The Narendranath with the turban and all these, they were not having the proper clothing, no food, and they used to meditate and meditate and meditate. Friends, strength is not in the gym, strength in meditation. We go to the gym to get the body strong, but actual strength is here in meditation. When we can collect our mind from the external world and can concentrate, they become very, very powerful. And we have got the sample, we can say, of that power in Chicago, in the Parliament of Religion in 1883, 11th century. 11th September, the Swami Vivekananda, he showed that power. Whatever he said, 7,000 people had to accept that. Whatever he said. So that was not that he is telling something very special. He only said very simple thing. But people, they were mesmerized. Why? Because that spiritual power. And afterwards we find the lay disciples, before that. These are lay disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. So first is the monastic members and the householder disciples. And the leader of the householder disciples is the Girish Chandra Ghosh, who had 100% faith that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was God Himself. So under Him, all these. So these are the two together bringing and carrying on the excellent Ramakrishna mission. We will discuss this again, and this will be only on the Ramakrishna mission movement from the next month, first Saturday. Thank you, friends. We will conclude now. Usually we expect some questions if you have any question. Otherwise, we will say Shanti and conclude. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Then otherwise they will play the song. Okay, play the song.